You know? Hi everyone. Can we introduce ourselves first? My name is Naresh. So you can also try on I can probably help you out. Start from your name first. Okay. Start from this. Start. Okay. I mean, what are- okay. What do you? Later. Passion. Okay. 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 I didn't get that. Yogi. 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 Anand. Anand. Okay, so what about your course? So can you tell me a little bit at least what you are learning so that I can also sync with your course? Okay. 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 Right. Okay. Fine. So today I came up with a new problem. So actually, if you want to know about my experience, I worked in a cab journey for 3 years. After that, I joined in the Tiger Analytics recently. So there I'm working as a data scientist. Okay. So this is the background of me and the people who are segregated with the data science and data analytics. Don't worry about it because both are together only work. Even in the industry, so it's not a separation. It's together they will work. Yeah. Can you put your mobiles in silent mode if you don't mind? For some time at least. Okay. See, when you are learning, I think you are all from different backgrounds, like different branches in engineering and degree also some people. So can I know that who are from like away from the software, like CSC, who are from the CSC and other groups also I want to know. First CSC people, one. Oh, all are CSC. Mostly. Okay. So remaining branches, mechanical. Okay. Electronics. BSc. Okay, nice. So you're from BSc computers. Okay, that's fine. See, why I asked the background. So the reason is most of the people from who are working in the data science, so they are from the different backgrounds. So CSC people also there. I'm not saying that they are see their area that is. I can't comment on it. But the thing is, remaining people also confidently they are working in the industry, how they are moving. So this background approach, why I'm asking that the people from the different branches or different organizations, they should feel comfortable in the data science. Okay. Today I came up with a new problem. So what industry facing actually? Okay. Just once. Sorry for this. Wait. So meanwhile, how many of you Telugu people are there here? Mostly outside Telugu. No one. See, all from native of either Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Okay. So online classes or offline classes every day? Both. I'm just waiting because if they confirm, then only we can start. Otherwise, they are interrupting, right? So it's a disturbance for you also. Okay, we will wait for 2 minutes so that we can start. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So today I came up with the one problem. So that was really the problem was faced by the airlines industry. So have you aware of the airlines industry before? So what do you know about it? Can anyone tell how data science can be integrated with the airlines industry? You can tell something, right? And price. Okay. That's a good answer. Okay. Any other thing? Okay. 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 That is also fine. Traffic. That means no. That's correct answer. Air traffic. Yeah. Because that is very important. If you are not able to predict the air traffic, there will be a dangerous, right? So there will be a blast of the flights also. Sometimes it happened. Recently also it happened in a Bangkok. Yeah. Any other examples? Okay, that's good because it's in front of you, right? So carbon emission. Yeah, it's common sense. When you are looking at the board, you can also see, right? Some problems are there. See, whenever you are seeing the screen, you have to understand the problems. So here the common problem, like predicting the carbon emissions. What do you mean by that? Carbon emission. See, if you understand the problem first, then the solution will come from your mind itself. So predicting the carbon emissions means what? The carbon. Okay. Which is coming from the elements. That's good answer. Any other answers? Have you ever heard about the carbon emissions? In general, I'm asking. Where you heard? Cars? Yes. Pollution, the best problem in the world. Okay. Industries. They also emit the the lot of pollutants. But why carbon dioxide? Why carbon emissions? Any idea? There is a lot of problems interlinked with the carbon dioxide. If you are aware of the basic science, so that means when we are reading the science from the childhood, so that time also even now the generation has changed. They know very well about this pollution, this kind of problems. They incorporated in their textbooks also now. How to reduce the air pollution? If you are surprisingly feel that Delhi government invested 1,000 crores in that. Why? It's just pollution. It's a matter of pollution, right? Why they invested that many crores? Yes, because next Hyderabad will come, next Bengaluru will come. Why? Cities, when they are planned very so congested plan, that will create the pollution. And why aircraft only? We are focusing aircraft industry. There is this project we are done for the Airbus. If you heard about the company called Airbus. Airbus is a multinational company. They are operating different flights in their regions. It's world's, at least I think so. If I think world's top 5 companies, it is there. So Boeing, if you heard it, so Boeing is also there. It's a world's #1 company. Okay, now the problem starts with the client came to us because when I was working in the Capgemini, that time we used to deal this Airbus projects. So they asked us very simple question. So flights are there, carbon emissions are coming up. Okay, we want to predict that carbon emissions. Now, okay, is it working? Okay. Louder than this means these people can't afford that. Okay. Yes. So first, the client asked us just to predict the carbon emissions. One flight is going on. So there is a model called A320. Okay. Even vehicles also we have a lot of models, right? So he asked us simple problem. A320 flight is going on. So we want to predict the carbon emissions. We ask a lot of questions. Why? What is the need of predicting the carbon emissions? He told 100 reasons. Because while you are predicting the carbon emissions, so we can understand that the flight, see, there is a lifetime. Lifetime means even vehicle also have the lifetime, 15 years, 20 years like that. First thing is we can predict the lifetime of the flight. And after that, based upon that emissions, we can either decommission that flight or we can send it for the repair. Because if it is giving the lot of carbon emissions, there is a problem. If air regulators like DGCA, if you are aware of the DGCA, what is the DGCA? The persons who monitor the flights, who give the approval. There is a movie also based upon that. Surya done that movie, if you are aware of that. Yes. In that movie also, that is the real story actually. So DGCA should give the approval for the flight. Even they will also check. Even pollution check they will do for the vehicles. If you have the like motor vehicle also, they will do pollution check. Why we are concerned about this? The client is very concerned because the company is located in the Paris. Paris is a strict regulation. If your flight is emitting like, two more carbon emissions, you need to pay for dollars for that. There is a lot of fines on them. They want to reduce it. How? The question came up like, they came up with a data scientist or data engineers. There is a team. Okay. It's 100 members team. They asked us, find the solution. What we can do? You can tell us, we also normal people, right? We are not magicians. How we can do that? You can tell me, what is your approach? This is the problem statement. How you follow that? Did you got problem statement first? The flights are releasing the carbon emissions. Okay. So we need to reduce it, first thing, and we have to predict it. How in future also it can, how many carbon emissions it can emit, and what are the other solutions? Either we can change the fuel, definitely, right? There is a solution, right? See, even some people are changing the electric vehicles now. So how we can change the flights now? And the operational cost also matters. You should not suggest that every time change all the engines. That is not our job. Okay. So my job is as a data analyst or a data scientist, we can say that, sir, this is the problem what you are facing. So you can change little modifications with a small operational cost. What is that? We will predict. Anyway, carbon emissions, we will predict. What is the flight number and how many carbon emissions it is giving. So we found out, and based upon that, you can do either you can continue that flight for the long time or you can stop operations for that if it is not economically viable. And as well as the revenue of the company also you need to calculate. If you are stopping flight means it doesn't mean that you are just simply stopping the flight. There is a business behind that, right? So I can also say that stop this flight. But crores of rupees of investment on that flight, definitely it will impact it. Always see, you people are not meant for only coding. You have to understand the problems, the business problems. You might think that, sir, I need just one job. Why I will think this much big? Definitely, right? That is a matter. When I entered in the industry, I also think like you only, I need small job. Why I will think the business perspective? There are a lot of people, managers, data scientists, all are there. Why I will think? It's a matter. Because when you understand the background of the problem becomes like solution becomes easy, right or not? When you are attending an exam, if you understand the question very well, he will become the topper. Why we are not becoming the toppers means we are not understanding the background. We are just seeing the two words of the question, we are writing the answer. That is the problem with the average student. But average students cleared top services, IAS kind of exams. How? Rigorous consistency. Even data science people also need that. You are seeing as a two branches here. I observed that a lot of people are saying that data analysis or analytics and data science. I was surprised. We never see this kind of segregation in the industry because they work together. There is no separation. And data analytics means what they will do the basic kind of jobs, and after that they will give it to the data science people. And industry, if you are entering in an industry, even though they ask that if you need to perform the data science job, means you have to perform, right or not? Even now the future is LLMs, large language models. Have you ever aware of this? What is the LLMs? GPT. What do you mean by that? I'm not asking the definitions. I'm asking the, what do you mean by that? Simple example, ChatGPT or Gemini. These are the examples, right? And even WhatsApp also we got Meta. So these are the basic examples, what we are seeing. You can't even imagine there are lakhs of these models. You can't see them. Everywhere work is becoming the, like, LLMs are doing the work along with the humans. You have to sit with them and you have to compete with them now. And people are saying that now coding becomes very difficult. I was surprised. Even in industry, we are not coding now. We are using the ChatGPT, and the work becomes very easy. And when you are learning, you might ask that, what is the use of learning the coding? We have to learn because to understand the logic. And if you want to explain the results to the client, you need to understand the code. Otherwise, you can't, right? See, the problem what we are facing here, it is very much near to you, close to you. Today, I am finding about the aircraft carbon emissions. Tomorrow, you will find about the carbon emissions of the vehicles. This is the biggest problem. You need to understand in the global picture. And world's worst cities, Delhi is there, our capital. I hope you agree with that. So capital is a kind of, belonging to everyone. It's not for me, for you. It's everyone. So even the problem comes to Hyderabad, what you will do? You can't escape. You have to find the solutions, right? So now we will go to the problem now, and the solution, what we found out, I will show you. Okay. Are you clear with the problem statement? We are predicting the carbon emissions of the flights. That is the problem statement. Okay. Yes. So how I approached this problem objective, developed a predictive model to estimate the carbon emissions using the aircraft operational data. So aircraft operational data means they already given the data to us. Okay. So these are the columns, these are the data. I hope you also aware of these things, rigorously practicing, I think so. So even industry side also, it will be like that only. So they will also give you data. So with that data only, you need to work on it. Some people are there, they also do SQL, right? How many people are doing SQL here? No one. Only one person? Okay, 4 or 5 people are there. What you will do in SQL? Do you have any databases? Are you working on databases? I think if it is a small scale or large scale, you are working on the databases, right? So that database only will give you the whole data, like you will extract from it, right? That is the simple meaning of that. So here also, we don't need to do. So client himself, he given us a data. Like there is a link is there, you can extract the data from it. So like that, I also took the data driven insights, like to suggest emissions reducing strategies. So this is where we need to use the common sense, because the predicting carbon emissions is the problem solved. But the thing is, he will ask in the business perspective. Client doesn't know coding. First, you need to understand that. Are you aware of these things or not? Client doesn't know coding, right? He only, like, what he is expecting from us, like solution. We want a solution. What you will do? So you have to give the solution. Maybe your managers or your people, they are expecting the coding from you. Okay. So even software job means people think that always coding. No, coding is half part. Half is the communication and how you are making your client acceptable to that solution. That is the half job. Okay. So you need to understand that here. So machine learning model, how many of you are aware of the machine learning here? Not aware. So at least have you done one project on that? Okay, awareness first. We will go with awareness. How many of, at least raise your hand like this. I can't see them, right? It is already a darkness. Okay, 2 people, 3. How many of you done any one project on it? One project. So what project you done on it? Just give me one line, that's enough. Okay, nice. Any other people? So that means you are new to machine learning. Can I consider like that? So I won't go depth in the machine learning because I don't want to confuse you. So we will restrict our information to the data analysis first. Then we will go to the machine learning basics. Okay. Based upon that only, I will explain the project. I think if I am teaching like that, you will get confused. Nothing you can't understand, right? So because 4 years back, I am also in that chair. Okay, I can understand. I used to sleep there itself. Someone explained. Don't sleep in the class. If you are feeling bored, please raise your hands. Okay. So coming to the problem statement. So business challenge. I already explained that aviation industry is under pressure to reduce the emissions per flight. So they has to monitor everything. If they monitor that, then only they can take the solution first. Okay. So rising fuel cost and regulatory penalties for high carbon output. One side, penalties are rising. Paris or a France government is very strict on the carbon emissions because they have the target to zero carbon emissions. Have you ever aware of these things? Zero carbon emissions. What do you mean by that? Zero means you should not emit any carbon emissions. But at least if flight is going, definitely there will be a carbon emissions. Or a vehicle is going, there will be a carbon emissions. Even people say that electric vehicle, even that also gives you carbon emissions, but in a negligible way. Okay, you need to understand this in a large scale first. But anyway, they given some exemptions. Okay, zero is impossible. So you make it very less. They kept one limit for that. Every industry operating, they given a guidelines for the Airbus company. So please, you have to perform like this. And 100 tons of the carbon emissions only, your all flights. What are the flights flying on the environment of the France? So you have to bring it down the 100 tons. Before that, that is 1 lakh tons. How you should bring it to 100 tons? It is impossible, they thought. And they approached, they set some deal and all. That is different story. But now at least you should bring down, right? Okay, it is 1 lakh tons means at least half of that. That is also reduction only, right? So now we will see that machine learning offers a scalable solution for that. And it is implemented in the Paris. And now that flights are going well. I'm not the only part of that. There are a lot of people involved in the project, but I got the context. Okay. Now dataset overview. First, I think some people are not even understanding what I am speaking. So please try to understand. This is very simple problem and basic problem, I can say that. So there is a data. Here data is almost all 1 million records. 1 million records means we can't even load it with the pandas. Are you aware of pandas? I hope, right? So pandas, you are aware of that. Pandas will be useful for the loading the data and reading the data. Everyone knows that, right? So there is a Spark. Are you aware of that? Apache Spark, PySpark. Okay. But we use the data frames here, like to load that data. So for your understanding, I brought it that the data, whatever it is there, half only I brought it. Why? Because I can't load that much data with pandas. So now we are like even Tiger Analytics where I am working, we made it everything in the PySpark. Because Spark is very speed and faster computation. And you know that data, vast amount data, it can bring it into the scale. And it can load it. That is what my intention. But here we are restraining to the pandas. Okay. So now there are the features. What are the features? Try to understand the features means nothing but columns. Like fuel consumption is there, flight duration is there, altitude is there, speed is there. What do you mean by that? Fuel consumption means one vehicle is moving from here to there means they need fuel, right? So that is what fuel consumption. And after that, flight duration means what? Time? Like 1 hour, 2 hour, that is, if you want to book a flight, you can also see, right? So there will be a duration. So you might ask me that reverse question. We never traveled to the flight. There are a lot of people. Even I also traveled 2-3 times only. Okay. But the question comes, you have to imagine at least. Okay. Next, altitude. Altitude means what? Height. In general meaning is height only, right? So altitude means flight should be in the certain height. Otherwise it will fall down, right? So that altitude, if altitude is increasing, automatically the fuel consumption will increase. That is the problem. You might ask that the flight will go into there are the atmospheric layers. If you heard about the atmosphere, stratosphere, I don't know whether you know the geography or not, but there are the layers in the atmosphere. So that stratosphere flights used to travel because there is a disturbances in the thermosphere, but stratosphere will cooperate with the flight movement. Okay. So when you are traveling, if you go into the next layers, that will be very difficult to operate. And you need a lot of fuel. That is also a problem again. It will incur a lot of expenditure on the company. So next, we will see the speed. If you travel very slow, it doesn't mean that the fuel consumption is very less. There is a limit for that, right? The speed limit. It will consume like that. That is also play huge role in our project. Next, target variable. We are talking about the target variable means, see, what is our main hero of this film? That is the carbon emissions. Okay. So these carbon emissions surrounding only we will travel. I think that word will repeat for the 1 lakh times before hackathon ends. Okay. Next, include missing values and outliers and correlated features. Normally, people are aware of that there is a missing values will be there in the data and outliers will be there. Outliers means whatever extreme values, I can say that. So there is a box plot. Have you aware of these things like box plot? So out of the box plot, there is a upper whisker and lower whisker. If you are aware of it, like out of it, that is the outliers, right? Next, we will see them, how to tackle them also. There are the strategies I brought. See, this project, what we are bringing here, it is a cumulative of all the methods. Okay, it is not single method be implemented because we need to test it, whether it is working or not. Then only we can bring it to the table, right? So when I am doing the project, I think it took almost all 1.5 months. But we can't bring all the wrong strategies here. So even Thomas Alva Edison, I think one person, he invented the bulb, right? He did 99 times. He never showed that 99 times what he did. He showed 100 time bulb. That is the reason today we can able to see the bulb, right? So same way we brought here the whatever the piece is of code working here. That is what I brought here. You might ask that this took 1.5 months means, okay, sir is very slow. Don't underestimate like that, right? Okay. Now, data pre-processing. Can you tell me what is the pre-processing here? Okay. Raw data into? Okay, nice. Please speak out. I don't say anyone is saying wrong or right because you all are learners, right? If you are open up your mouth, then only you can communicate with me. I can also feel that, okay, these students are not feeling bored. Otherwise, I can consider that, okay, they want to look at their mobiles. They want to look at other space. They are here only. You can see after hackathon also their faces. Okay, tell me, what is the pre-processing?
Making it structured data. Making it structured data.
Okay, making it structured data. Very nice definition. You can also tell, right? Performing EDA. ETL, okay. Extract, transform, load. Okay. Data cleaning, very nice. Okay, that means you are aware of the data pre-processing, right? See, the pre-processing means simple definitions, what you are aware of. See, the person said structured data, whatever you are making it a structured data. That is also correct answer. It doesn't mean that there is a specific meaning for that. So if you entered in the Google, it will give you different, and ChatGPT, it will give you different answer. But you prepare one answer. That is better, right? So here also data pre-processing means handling the missing values. Whatever missing values are there, I need to handle, right? Otherwise, it is useless to prepare a model first. And the other is, there is a imputation techniques. What are the imputation techniques? See, simple understanding is, when you are preparing a model, you need to understand these steps. So when missing values are there, the corresponding answer you should know. What is that answer? How to handle that missing values? Can you tell me, anyone? One person first. I can't cope up with all answers, right? Please speak out. Okay, nice. Okay, there are the two methods he said. Okay, any other method? Okay, nice. Third method, that is called KNN imputation. Okay. Forward fill, backward fill. Okay, very futuristic answer. Next. Okay. Okay, fill linear. Okay. See, there are the different methods. You can use any of them. But if you are thinking that which data is suitable for which one, there are the standard definitions. When you have to use the mean, when you have to use the median, there is a mode also, right? Three methods are there. General method I'm talking about. I'm not talking KN and imputation, these things, because common man can understand these three methods. Mean means what? Average. And median, you know that also, right? Mode means repeated element. So when to fill mean, when to fill median, when to fill mode. I want one answer from anybody. See, I have three methods. I am also aware of that. When to fill them? Like mean? Okay. Okay. So he said that there are the three answers. I'm trying to convince the remaining people. There is a skewness. Are you aware of these things? Skewness means, for example, I'm standing here. This is the perfectly symmetrical. If you are thinking like this, like, but if I am standing like this is the left skewed. If I am going like this is the right skewed, right? This is the simple understand. But when you are looking at the left skewed, you are mean, whatever the mean, median, mode. So median will dominate the mean. So that time you have to fill with the median, greater values. But if you are standing this side, then that time mean will be higher. You have to fill with them. So the reason you should be prepared. Okay. Why I'm stressing this point? Because when students are going for the interview, they are not able to answer basic questions. They are preparing large algorithms, but they are expecting basic from the students, right? Even if you attended the interviews, you will get to know these things. Why we are stressing these points. And coming to our problem, detect and treat outliers using the z-scores and IQR methods. Are you aware of these two methods or any one method at least? Two methods you are aware of. Okay, nice. Can anyone tell IQR? I'm not asking the definitions. Again and again, people are saying very good definitions. That is fine. Interquartile range. So what do you mean by the IQR? How to perform IQR? That is my question. Yes. Okay, that is the formula. Okay. Very nice. Okay, I understood the conceptual knowledge, what you are explaining. But general terms, what we are doing then? That is my question here. General terms means, oh, for example, I don't know that formulas. Okay, imagine that I don't know that formulas and all. You try to explain me how to implement that IQR method here. General way I am asking about. So don't see it as a class. It is not class, okay? So the person who said answers, we will appreciate that. No, it's a project what we are discussing today. What is IQR? I asked them. In box plot, generally what you see, there is a box will be there and you have two sides of whiskers will be there, right? So if I see anything, the values outside this box, what should I do? I have to bring them inside of that whiskers, like upper whisker and lower whisker. See, for example, this left hand, right hand outside, there are values. I want to bring them inside. How can I bring them? I can't bring them like this, right? There is a method for that. That is called IQR. IQR means, for example, these are the limits. But when you are applying the formula, Q1, what you said that, and the Q3, what you are telling, there is a formula 1.5 into the IQR. So if you are extending these limits, it will become like this. Then what happens? The outer values, they will come inside. That is what the simple method that. Okay. So why the need of bringing them? Because you can't miss that many values. If you are missing that many values, your model is not addressing all the problems. That is what the method starts here. And there are the algorithms. Algorithms means machine learning algorithms. I want to make a note of here. If you are not treating the outliers also, there are the algorithms. Like, for example, decision tree regression. What it will do, it can take care of the outliers. Even though if you are not treating them well, it can take care of. That time when you are applying the algorithm also, you should be aware of. You have like, whether I treated outliers or not, I don't know. That time you can go for these regression problems, okay? So now we will see encode and engineer features for improved model performance. What do you mean by that? There are the encoding techniques. One hot encoding, label encoding. Say, for example, I say my name to mission, they can't understand that because a lot of names are there, right? So they can convert into the binary form. 0, 1. When you are learning in your childhood also, you used to learn this kind of techniques, right? So that method is called encoding. Changing the names to simple numbers, digits, right? Now, exploratory data analysis, EDA. So many people are saying that EDA, I think I heard it to some people, they are aware of the visualizations. What do you mean by the visualizations? Graphs, okay? Pie charts, okay? Whatever the graphs are there, the entire statistics, you will use the all graphs, right? So that graphs only we will present here, like univariate analysis. If I ask that, what do you mean by the univariate analysis? Can anyone tell? Single variant, right? Single variant means, for example, in our target here, carbon emissions is the single variant, right? If I want to observe that, why the need of observing? See, for example, if I am drawing some graph of the carbon emissions, then only I can understand whether it is in the normal distribution, whether it is in the right skewed or left skewed, whatever the methods I have. So I can check all the plots, hist plot, box plot, whatever the methods. Even sometimes when I am learning this data science, I used to get confused which graph I need to use here, particularly. Even you should have that confusion now. But you know what? The best method for that overcome that problem, you can implement any graph. That is not a problem at all. But that graph should be understood. Like the people who are watching that graph, okay, they can understand or interpret from that graph. That is the answer for that. If you are using the box plot, hist plot, that doesn't matter. You will also see in this project how I applied that methods and in an easy manner. Okay, next. So multivariant patterns and bivariant analysis. And there are the statistical tests also I performed, like t-test, Pearson test, and the QQ plots. Have you aware of these things? No? Why? Statistical test you used to perform, right? I think t-test you are aware of. No? Okay, there is a method called chi-square test. That is also fine because the t-test, chi-square test, and there are the ANOVA test also there, if you remember. So these tests are performing to find out the probability value. There is a p-value, if you remember. What do you mean by the p-value? There once one person, he came for an interview. When we are doing the interview, he said that, sir, if the p-value is less than the 0.05, that is the good for the model building. That feature is the good for the model building. I asked him, what is the p? Even we should know that why student is saying the p, right? He said that, I don't know, sir. He was like surprised. He doesn't know the p, but he knows that formula, p less than 0.05, that will work for the machine learning. When you are reading some value, try to understand the background of it. P is the probability. Probability of 0.05, why it came? Because the reason is 100% when you are taking, the probability usually 100% they used to calculate. 0.05 means it's a 5%. You know, P less than 0.05 means the negative percentage in that variable is less than 5%. That is the reason you are considering the 95% of that variable. That is the reason behind that. Okay, even I used to learn like that only. I suggest you are the now learning, right? When you are learning, learn like this. So the p-value having the lot of significance in the every test. Okay, even I will show here. So what will happen, and the next techniques also we will discuss. Feature engineering means you are also aware of this feature engineering word. What do you mean by that?
Appropriate features.
Very good. Selecting the appropriate features. What do you mean by that? Question yourself. So selecting the appropriate features means, for example, in this data set, 50 features are there. Can I select all 50 features? Will it work for me? That time they will say that, okay, he doesn't know machine learning. Simple, right? I need to select at least 10 or 15 features out of these 50 which are useful, and how they are useful also you have to tell. That is the important, right? Okay. So and so Naresh, he said that 10 features are important. How he is saying there is a science behind that, any technique behind that, how you selected these 10 people only. For example, I said that these first bench people are good. Why you are saying good? There must be some reason, right? Oh, they are listening well, first thing. They are very intelligent. This kind of reasons I need to put forward. Data science all about you have to give the reasons also. Behind that, if you are not providing any reasons, they will say that simply, okay, this is meaningless. Even you will say that. He selected some features in the project, but I don't know why he selected that feature. That confusion I used to have when my seniors are doing. Okay, I can't ask them, right? It's a simple morality. So next, here I will show that why I selected that features only. There are the statistics behind that. And there is a problem of the multicollinearity also. How many of you are aware of the multicollinearity term? I'm not asking the meanings. At least have you heard about it? Multicollinearity. Okay. You are heard about it. Okay, that's fine. No? Multicollinearity means, for example, correlation you are aware of. If you are aware of correlation means you should know multicollinearity. Why? Because when we will check the correlation, what do you mean by the correlation first? That question starts there, I think. So. Relationship between two variables, right? Simple. Relationship between two variables means, for example, carbon emissions is our target variable. How remaining variables are sharing the relationship with that. Okay. So even correlation means strongly influencing the variable, either negatively, either positively. The best example, you also know that if you take me as a person, who are influencing me, for example, my office people, my family people, there are a lot of people surrounding me, right? So these kind of influence when you are, because I am the target variable, right? In that my story, if you are involved in your story, you are the target variable. Here carbon emissions, same way. Carbon emissions sharing the relationship with the remaining variables, how positively, how negatively, both are important. But there is a standards for them. What are that standards? Plus or minus 1. So if it is a positive correlation, high positive correlation means plus 1. High negative correlation means minus. You need to consider both of them. But the remaining values 0 to 0.5, 0 to minus 0.5, they are not worthless because they are not influencing greatly. Remaining people are influencing, like remaining variables are influencing too much. We will also see multicollinearity means if two variables having the same value with the target variable, 0.85 is the value, but aircraft weight also influencing, fuel consumption also increasing, like influencing same way. Are you getting my point? I can select one feature on. That time I have to cure this problem of multicollinearity. Multicollinearity problem, there are the different methods are there in our discussion also. I will show that. Okay. Next, modeling and workflow. Here the data, you also know, test, train, split. Obviously, right? Testing data, training data. Even why we are doing this? Training data means you need to understand. For example, once I train this data means, if I given to the LLM model, that LLM model you will definitely use, that is the ChatGPT. If I upload this project into the ChatGPT, what you will type? What are the carbon emissions? So even it will give you a lot of resources. Resources means 4-5 links it will provide. In that one link, my project also will come because I also uploaded, right? The influencing the people. Okay. So to show that this is also better results. So here also workflow will be like that. When you are training the data, automatically it will give you the output. That output will be captured by the ChatGPT or Gemini, whatever it may be. When you typed in the Google also, you will get a lot of links, different websites it will give. Why? Because they all are uploaded same kind of data and the results also they uploaded, right? Even we also see that. So how to, train the model, how to test the model. So don't worry about it. Even if you are not aware of these things, like, machine learning completely, I can agree that, but I will make you comfortable here. Okay. Next. So there is a model tuning. Okay. I build the model first of all. Okay. If I build the model, is my job is over? No. Actually, my job starts there only. Why? Because model building is over, but your model is working well or not? That is the question. How many of you cross-check that? Even some people write the answer. Even I also write the answers in the exam. What we will do? We will, whenever they given a question paper and answer sheet, we will start writing till the end. But no one will cross-check. How many of you cross-check your answers? Okay, very good student. Next. I never did cross-check in my answers because I don't have that habit. But here, that job won't work. Even I can see all of you similar to me only. Maybe you people are also studied like me. So when you are doing a model, you need to cross-check whether it is giving a good performance or not. How you will get to know that good performance or bad performance? There is a term called cross-validation. When you use that term, so generally there is a test try split you will do, right? 80-20. So test, there is a split percentage, but cross validation will do for the 70-30, 60-40, like different splittings it will do. Then you will get the same value, means your model is working well, or otherwise your model having some problem, you need to rectify it. Okay, we will see that methods also. Next, optimization. There is a word or a trendy word in the software, optimization. What do you mean by the optimization? Okay, nice. Optimization means you will also do optimization in your life, but you are not aware of that term. Okay. Generally, your parents or you got money from someone, what you will do? Don't tell that I will eat biryani. No, that kind of things won't work. But you will do optimization. What do you mean by the optimization? What is the priority first? What things I need to buy first? You will list out, like you will have a list and you will buy that things first. And if you have remaining thing, like remaining money, you will enjoy. But what you did here? Optimization. Like the most important things you will buy first. Same thing. Even industry also do like that. When you are building a model and everything is over and you will optimize it. Optimize it means the occupying space, and that should be very less. And the cost of expenditure on that model, if every day it is running, means there will be a huge data it will pile up. But one fine day, what will happen? The Google Drive also will go over. You need to buy something. That means there is a extensions you need to buy. For that, they will see one thing, minimum results, like minimum it will should generate, and whatever the output that should be useful for the maximum things. So you need to see optimization is the word. So when you are reducing the cost and you are prioritizing the results, that is what the simple meaning. Okay. And now recommendations for the emissions reduction. Don't worry, some people are feeling bored. So the project is over. Okay. So I think some people are not even looking at this side, they are observing some other sides. Okay, that is common phenomenon because it generally feels bored. But you will see movie 2 hours. Why? There is a reason behind that. Suspense, visuals is the main part. When visuals are there, your eye will go. And some people, they will involve into the movie. Why? They will forget their career also. This hackathon will be useful for your career. That movie never be useful for your career. But you will see like that. Why? Because you like it. Even when you are understanding the things very simple manner, you will also follow with me. That is what I also felt when I'm sitting in that chair. So I used to think that, oh, when this guy will stop this hackathon. I was the most worried person because I can't understand anything. That is the main problem. Okay. Even here also there are recommendations. Simple. These 1,000 crores project, whatever Airbus started, so they benefited out of it 500 crores. Imagine that numbers. So I was working in the Capgemini. Client is the Airbus. They directly offered me for the Airbus. Not only me, entire team of the people. So we can settle in the France also. They can give the permanent visas. But we choose that is a one project in our life, and we left that organization and we move on for some other projects. Because it's not only airlines project you will do for lifelong. If you are doing, they will take you like a gold piece. For example, this guy is very gold for us. He knows end to end. When I'm retiring, that time they will give the retiring benefits also. But data scientist people, if they want to work, there is a future growth is too much. Data science or data analytics, don't separate it. Whole term is called data science. Okay, it's a vast term. Even AI also included in that. Okay, so now recommendations. Finally, in this project, we found out something that I will show you on the screen now. So don't worry about it. So deployment strategy. Are you aware of this? Once model runs, you have to deploy. There is a term called Docker. Even YouTube ads also Docker is coming nowadays too much. No? So Docker means you have to deploy your model. Every day it will give you progress card. So these model results are this one. It will send to your mail also if you want. So same way, here we use the Streamlit. There is an app called Streamlit. So it's like, interface to run the model. So you will collect the output there. So the people who are sitting here, some people are experts in the coding, some people are average in the coding, some people are lower standard. But the output understanding, people are same. It's not no segregations here. So here the coding might be difficult for them, but the visualization in their minds is very vast. You can't even understand the visualization. Okay, so here you can see how it happened in the deployment strategy. So I'm getting back to the models discussion. Here I will showcase the first output so that you won't feel the bore. Here, can you able to see this? What all parameters are here? There is a flight parameters like fuel is there, aircraft weight is there, and flight duration is there, speed is there, altitude is there. So then I start, there is a button called predict carbon emissions, right? Predict emissions. So if I click on that, what will happen? So it will predict the carbon emissions, right? You can also see there is a tons of carbon emissions are there on the screen. Whatever the theory I'm saying that you might feel bored, but the thing is the results are here. Okay. So when you saw the results, you have to understand the project importance. Theoretically, I can also say a lot of projects, but what is the implementation? That is the important, right? If you are not implemented your model, it is on the books only. See if it is in the books, what is the use of that? When it is going to the implementation, and if you got the result out of it, then people also look at you. Okay, this guy has some talent. We need to address this problem first. So here also you can see feature, whatever the features impact on the carbon emissions, the visualization part. It is the high impact fuel consumption. Because if fuel is there, then only aircraft will run. If fuel is not there, it won't run at all, right? So here we need to focus too much. 80% it is only impacting. Okay, there are the different features also. It doesn't mean that we can neglect remaining things. Aircraft weight also and duration also. All these things are simultaneously impacting. And here trend analysis. You can also see fuel consumption trend. Why it reduced? Because 2023. So there is a the kind of flight aviations got they stopped it because after COVID what happened? Suddenly they stopped flying. Why? Because people they want to save themselves first. That is the reason there is a problem in that. So you need to ask that European countries are facing still COVID there. So that problem comes to the impact of the flight. Indians won't do that much flight journeys. I hope so. Because we all know that. How many of you did the flight journey? Only 4 or 5 people. Why? Because they always think that railways is the better option. Or bus is the some more better. So why? It doesn't mean that they can't afford. They can afford. But they think that why the need of wasting that much money? We can go by train. We don't have that much important works there. If you really have important works, what you will do? You will catch the flight. Definitely, right? So if companies like software companies, why we are looking at them? Not only salary, they will give you the perks. What are that perks? Allowances, like trips from the other countries. So it's like lucrative. You will see that job as this is something really I want to do that. So that's how this flight journey also fuel consumption trend it reduced in the 2023. Carbon emissions also automatically will come down because if your fuel is not consumed, definitely carbon emissions will come down. So revenue impact, this is the most important and crucial point of our discussion. So the revenue impact after implementing this project, we can see the downfall. So downfall means it doesn't mean that revenue impact means what we are getting. Here, revenue impact means what we are spending. Okay, spending amount reduced means it's fine only, right? So that is what we are objective also. Next, estimated cost of reduction also I wrote. So estimated cost of reduction means how much cost it reduced. Almost also you can see it's in the dollars, and that many dollars it reduced. So this is the project of the synthetic data. So if you see original data means there you can find number is very big. And I already communicated 400, 500 crores. That is the project cost of expenditure they reduced. That is the huge for the company, right? So if they invested 1,000 crores before, now investing the 500 crores is very easy for them. And they will get the same revenue. That is also matters here. Okay, now you saw the output. We will go to the code. So at the end of the discussion, you might think that the code is very important. That is what you also learning here, right? So here also I wrote the what is the problem, but I clearly explained the problem and all. So just give me a second. So already we discussed that how to load the data. I don't want to repeat that steps what we discussed. We will directly jump into the topic. So till here I showed you output. For that output, we did a rigorous effort, right? You need to see that effort. If you might feel bored. How many of you feeling bored? Tell me honestly. At least someone should raise the hand. I'm expecting. I look at some faces, they are not even interested here. That's obviously fine. You might sometimes. How many of you feeling sleepy? At least tell the truth. See, everyone is looking at others' faces. They are not looking their faces. Don't worry. So it is a simple. So when you are sitting for the long term, you will get a bore and you will feel sleepy because this is not Rajmouli movie. If you are sitting at Rajmouli movie, definitely you feel excited because he will manipulate with the graphics. Definitely, right? Yes. So because there are a lot of people who attracted to the graphics nowadays. Even nighttime when we are sleeping, what we will do? Mobile. He will scroll it rapidly. There is one of my friend. What he will do, he will scroll it like this, reels. That the shorts or reels. I used to ask him what he will get. Nothing. But he become a habituate for that. He won't see even one shot also clearly. How many of you having that habit? Oh, one. Honesty is the best policy. Remember that. If you are not honest here, you will never be honest in the life. How many of you are having the habit of scrolling the shorts and reels in the Instagram or any other app you take? So only 4 people. I expect so many people. Okay, very good. No, remaining people are not even raising their hands, means they are not using it. Is it so? Okay. That is what. Whatever it may be method. I'm asking habit. Okay. How many of you having that habit? But no one agrees. That is the difficult thing here. Don't you have that habit? Why? What you will do in free times? Game? Songs. Very nice. Any other person? So you know that there is a back-end algorithm in that. What is that algorithm? When you watch comic roles too much, definitely you will get suggestions of that. But try to observe one pattern in the shorts. Okay, if I like so many food things, definitely food recommendations will come. If I like games too much, game recommendations will come. Even nowadays, there is a one short algorithm came. That algorithm is catching. If you are observing any reel or short longer term, it will take that as your like, and it will send you that kind of recommendation. Even YouTube also doing that. YouTube will send you, if you watch one channel one time, they will send you all of them. This is what a recommendation algorithms. But when you learn about them, you will really hate them because they will read your mind. Definitely, right? This is called reading mind. Even I like cricket very much. Okay. But whenever I delete the Jio Hotstar app also, some notification will come from the Google. So this person is scoring like this. Then I will immediately start watching the cricket, and I don't know that I will watch 2 hours. This is what weakness of the people. They are catching that. Okay. I recommend you also become this machine learning kind of engineers, or you can also read that. That time you will never watch any app. I never use Instagram in my life. Why? That reels. I used to feel Instagram means reels. That reels you can also see in YouTube. Might be Instagram will give you the photos of others, but YouTube you will get the actors itself, right? So I recommend that watch it. That is not a problem, but learn something from that. Okay, here in our discussion also we will see that kind of examples. So here you can see there is a data is there and the data set is there, how we are loading them, and there is a different shapes also there. You can see there is a data, it is changing every time. Why? There is a 1 million rows I uploaded, but the uploading capacity of the Google Colab also you need to understand, and it will split that data. Whenever one time disconnected, it will upload the new one. So that is the reason you can see very less numbers, but I uploaded the 10 lakh rows data set. You can't even believe that. Just now I ran and it runtime disconnected, next data set came. So it is not a problem. It is not a big thing, but you should aware of the process. Okay. Here, I hope so. I'm not explaining what is the shape of that. What are these two numbers? Shape means this is the number where the rows are there, columns are there, right? So I'm not explaining them because you are all aware of that. Okay. So just finding out the first 5 rows because I want to understand the data. Okay. Next. So if I go for the data types, why we need these data types? This is not a simple step. By looking at the data types only, you should understand how to manipulate this data. There are the data types when basic programming, when we are learning, people learn these data types. Why we are learning? There is an integer, float, string, boolean, this kind of data is there, right? Why we are learning them? Do you think that is useless? No, when you are doing a big scale projects, you need to understand that. Interlink like that. Don't learn it like, oh, there are the 4 data types are there, we need to by heart them. No, it's not needed at all. The person who doesn't know data type also, he can do the project. But why you are learning, you should know it. Because here, if the data types are in the float manner, you have to convert them in the different scale. For example, object is there, you need to convert into the numeric. So that is the reason, if we want to convert them, we have to learn that what is the behind the types. I can say that. Okay, now coming to this data, everything is in the float. Don't worry about it. There are a lot of missing values are there. As we discussed that, what is the missing values? What are missing values? Okay, some NaN values, gaps are there, empty are there. These all are missing values only. Even hyphen is there, that is also missing value. Right? There is no value particularly. Why this problem comes? There are the data entry operators. Have you ever aware of this? But when I completed my BTech, I used to search for the part-time. That time there is a job called data entry. Right? Now it is not there because when AI comes, it took over that job also. Okay. Because it is doing better than people, right? So tell me that missing values are there. You already aware of the methods now. What are methods I can implement here by looking at that many values are there? Can you tell me? You are not even telling. Why? Okay, I will only tell. So why whenever missing values are there are the methods we discussed, mean, median, mode. And apart from that, KN and imputation is there. There are algorithms like by using the machine learning algorithm, you can fill that values also. So we will see basic kind of values how we did here, and after that we will come back. So come to the duplicate rows. What do you mean by the duplicate rows? If flight ID is same, if any flight having the same ID, for example, flight ID 1201, if it is repeating every time or 1 or 2 times, if it is 2 times means duplicated only, right? So it should not have the duplicated rows. If it is a duplicated rows means the machine learning model, what you are building, it will also having some noise. Noise means what? In general terms, what is the noise? Disturbance. Okay. In machine learning terms, okay. For example, you take me as an example. Now, generally, one person means what their parents will expect. My son should be a clean and good. No one parents will expect that my son should be a dirty. Okay, what they will expect? So I should learn well, I should study well, I should get good results, good jobs. This is what they expect. But meanwhile, what I will do? I will have some friends and I will drink with them. I will watch movies. This is not run by my parents, right? This machine learning model is run by me. That is noise. Okay, there are the friends, two types, good friends and bad friends. We can't separate them. We like bad friends mostly, not good friends. If that person is boring candidate means we never call that guy. Am I right or not? We always want a bad friends in our life. Why? Because we see enjoyment with them. See, watching movie is an enjoyment. Eating biryani is enjoyment. That is what noise actually. Because if you watch movie 2 hours, definitely it will kill your time first thing. And second thing is, it is not useful for you. That is the noise data in your mind. And obviously, watching movie is not a bad thing. What you will do after that, coming back to the home, what you will see? How many crores it collected. I used to see like that. See, this is not a problem. I went for a triple R movie. After come back, I used to watch how many crores it collected. Okay, is it a break in industry recorder? Why it is useful for me? What is the user? Rajamouli should take care of it, or some other guy, producer. So these guys should take care of it, or NTR or Ram Charan should take care of it. Not me, right? But we used to see that. Why? Because to show fan base. Right? So it is not useful at all. This is the noise data. I want to tell an example in daily life what we are doing. Even daily you watch a YouTube, that is the noise data what you are learning. Your parents are not meant for you to learn this noise data. They want any subject. They want should be clean and good like a machine learning model. But we used to learn and our children will learn this. Because you can't comment them. Right? We are using the mobile phone like this means our children will use like anything. That is, we can't even imagine because AI will come, right? Okay. Here coming to the exploratory data analysis, we have data samples and the column memory usage. That is the key point I want to highlight here. So there is a memory usage. What do you mean by the memory usage? How much memory it is consuming? You can also see 10.5 MB. What do you mean by that? There is a space in the disk. Everywhere there is a memory cards are there before. Right? Even in your phone also memory is there. If it is full, every time it is say that memory full, please delete something. What you will do? You will delete unnecessary things. Some people started saving their photos from childhood. Right? Somebody having that habit here. So how many people having that habit? Like starting from the childhood, they will save all the photos. Great. Very good. Okay. If it is memory full, what you will do? Will you delete your childhood memories or will you delete now whatever the memories now? That is too much genius answer, right? Oh, that's good. So here also, if memory is full in the Google Drive, we have to extend that limits. Actually, we have done this project on a Palantir. Have you ever heard of this term? I don't think so. Because Palantir is a platform where you can save the memory till TBs. I can say that I am not even aware of that. Terabytes you can save that memory. Palantir is nowadays it's a trending. So wherever you see there is a Palantir tool. So you can do coding there only. You can save the things everywhere. Like GitHub. Some people are aware of the GitHub. And like that only, same way. You will have the branches. You will work for that. So Palantir is also a platform. You don't need to know about this Palantir. Whenever your specific companies are there, they have the specific tools. We are not even that person learn that in I want to learn. No, nothing needed. When you enter in organization, whatever the tool they are using, You have to be well trained on that thing. That is what you need to know. So GitHub, I am not aware of the before Tiger Analytics. When I joined in the Tiger Analytics, I started learning it. So same way, here also memory usage is the problem. So memory usage in this project also, we kept it very small. And there are the descriptive statistics also. What are the descriptive statistics? Mean, median, standard deviation, maximum, minimum. What is the use of that learning these 5 things? I also tell that even I am also like, learn like this only. So what is the use of that? If I know about the max and the minimum values, what is the use of that? I can imagine that one flight can emit the carbon emissions. This is the minimum level. This is the maximum level. What is the mean? This is the mean. Like for example, middle value is the mean, right? So if I got to know that, whatever the filling values, like NA values, so I can fill with the mean so that the model, whatever the values it is giving, it won't vary too much. That is the reason people are choosing this descriptive statistics. And the maximum percentages, like percentages also they will calculate, right? 25%, 50%, these things. Why? Because if you want to understand one feature clearly and carefully, you need to aware of these things. Then only you can take a decision. Otherwise, it is irrelevant to do. But when I am on the student time, so that time when I'm learning, I am not even aware of the why they are doing. I used to do like, okay, I have to perform the descriptive statistics. Next step, go. Because I used to write on my hands also. So, okay, this step after this step. Why we are doing that? We need to aware of these things, okay? Because here target variable is the clean. Target variable is the carbon emissions. This is the background code what you are looking at. If you can't able to understand, when hackathon closed, I will give you the code. I will give you all files. You can also explore, including data also. There are no copyrights here, okay? You don't worry about it. So some people might think that they want to note it down. No need. So carbon emissions is our target variable where we are looking at. So here you can see target column is a carbon emissions and I'm describing it, and median mode I'm finding out, and after that distribution plots. I think so many people are aware of this distribution plots here, what I observed. More than a machine learning, they know very well about this distribution plot, like history plots, bar plots, these things, right? Definitely. So I think you are well versed with that plots. Okay, so we will also see here, there is a skewness and kurtosis or kurtosis, some people pronounce it. Are you aware of these things? Skewness anyway, you know, left skewed, right skewed. There is a term called kurtosis. What do you mean by that? 1% at least. Okay, peakness. Okay. Any other answer? Okay. So I understood that you are aware of these terms. This is what distribution of the hist plot, right? Are you able to look at that graph? So this is how it distributed. Do you think that it is normally distributed? If not, why? Can you able to see the screen? Okay. It's better I can sit down. Yo, you can tell me. So distribution is normal or not? I'm just asked a friendly question. I'm not asked any complex question here. No? Some people say no. Who are all no? Tell me or raise your hands. Raise your hand. Why you are doubting? Okay. 1, 2. Any other guys? Not normally distributed, right? Why you said normally distributed? General answer, tell me. Like friendly answer, what you, okay, there is a something in your mind. Maybe it is not symmetrical, sir. That is the reason I said like this. Okay. So based upon symmetricity only you said, right? Because if it is not symmetrical, what you will say? It is not normally distributed, right? So here also there is an answer for this. Even box plot also you can see there is a problem in this variable because there are a lot of outliers. If it is really symmetric or a normal distribution, you won't get outliers. If you are getting outliers means definitely it is not following the normal distribution or a symmetricity. You need to understand these terms very well. Okay. So here also you can see there is a problem with the skewness and the kurtosis also. We are getting the 0.06. That is the variance of very 6% variable. That means it's almost a normal distribution, but there is a little variance. Okay. So here you can see what I did for this. So even missing values also I counted. There is a percentage of the missing values in every column. 5% minimum is there. There are the problems when you are filling the missing values, deleting them. There is a thumb rule. Thumb rule means standard rule. What is that? My question is very simple. I'm not asking the complex questions because see, if missing values are a 5%, can I delete it? Can I fill it? When I can delete that? When I can fill it? Simple question. Filling or deleting? There are two options only in front of me. Which one I choose on which condition? Less means what? Which percentage? That is what I'm stressing here. Even I also aware of that 5% is there. Can I delete it or can I fill it? 1 or 2%? Okay. Some number? No? Anyone aware of this rule? Like when to delete, when to fill it? Simple answer. That the answer is if the missing values are below 2%, then you can delete. But in industry terms, if the data is huge, even though 5% you can delete. Okay, but it should not impact your model. That is the final objective. But standard rules, if you search for the Gemini or ChatGPT, they will tell you 0.05 also. Don't get confused. It is the rule that when is the minimal effect on the model, you can delete till 5%. No problem in that. When you are deleting these missing values, you are deleting indirectly entire rows of the 5%. Am I right or not? You should understand that. See, simply deleting is what? Nothing. You can drop, that's all. But when you are dropping, you have to restore them to fill again. So you have to understand the consequences. What's happening? Okay, here also I filled them. I am not deleted anything. So here, this is the heat map. I hope you are aware of these heat maps and all. Heat map means what? It can tell you the visualization of the any values, right? So this heat map is look like whenever you got a power interruption in your home, right? It is look like that only, right? Because this is the individual column. So how many missing values are there? Where they are there. The positions also. Because why I choose this one, there are a lot of 50 columns are there. How can I present them? If I draw a box also, it won't good. That is the reason I choose this map. But when I look at this, you need to understand, you can take a pause and try to understand in the straight manner, like every column, you can get the understanding. Wherever the missing values are there and what position they are there. That is also important here. Okay. Now get back to the discussion. This is an alternative method we used in the real-time project also. Missing no. Missing no means it explains the missing values in terms of the library. There is a column missing. Okay. So you can also see. So the MSNO matrix, whatever we have, and I applied that. This is also look like that. But the difference between that map and this one, only straight line is the difference. Are you getting my point? This is somewhat structured because you won't get confused. That's all. So here you can see there is a strategy. Now game starts here. Some people said some answers. So different answers, right? Are you following with me? Anyone having the problem? You can tell me openly, no problem. I won't mind it, okay? Because it's a discussion of you and me so that I can make you aware of this. If you want a short break also, we can give the short break. Like 10 minutes we can stop or 5 minutes if you want. Anyone bothering about it, like they want to drink water, they want to go out, they can. Are you all comfortable? Okay, right? Okay. So then we can see missing values filling. So here there is a method called, so how you imputed them. Imputed means like filling, simple answer. Imputation is the English word. So how in general meaning is filling, right? So here also filling means how you are filling. You can see entire code of them. They are filling with the mean. If you strategically think here, dot mean is there. If I can understand this word, that's enough for me. Remaining things are common. So you might ask that, sir, how to code them? This is where half of the faces will look at me. Okay, you are saying something, we also able to understand, but thing is how to code them. General doubt, right? So the coding is a problem with some people. Okay. So here also you can see I'm not used any complex code. I will try to cut that code. So for call in df imputed, because df imputed means again df dot copy. Whatever df is there, I took the copy of it and just I wrote the for loop, like select df data types and impute with the fill in. Only one step I used for the 50 columns to fill. Are you able to understand? Some people learn the for loops in the initial time of their coding. Why for loops means they will be useful in your between the project. So you have to well versed with the for loop, while loop, this loops, any loop you can take. That is not a problem. Why we are using that? Because if you want to write a normal step also you can write, but you have to write this step for 50 times. Instead of that, you can write a loop, right? Try to practice the loops in this way. Don't practice the loops like print even numbers, odd numbers. I hope so. So many people, including me, I used to by heart that loops. Okay, there is nothing shame to say that because we are beginners that time. We used to by heart, right? Even if you go for an interview, the interviewer will say one stupid question and he will say, write a loop on it. Huh? What is it? Even you can't even understand that question. The problem with the coding is the half of the question you can't even understand. He said prime numbers, but he said some condition. You will think there itself, you will forget this too. My suggestion is only 5 programs you need to by heart. What are the programs? Prime numbers, even numbers, odd numbers, Fibonacci series. That's all. These are enough. If you by heart these things, okay, you might get some logic there. Try to write one program 10 times. You will get it. Okay. But nowadays interviews are not like that. But when you go for data analysis or data science kind of interviews, they will ask you, they will give you some small data set. Please perform all the steps. Are you getting my point? So instead of by hearting them, the people who wants to look at the jobs of the data analytics and data science, try to prepare, incorporate all of them into the kind of projects. Basic projects only, don't do complex projects. Basic things. How to handle the missing values, how to handle the outliers, what are the methods are there. Handling missing values only 5 methods are there. Handling outliers only you have a lot of methods. You try to understand them and do it. Here also this project I made code is very simple. You know, this code is copied from the GPT also, and some codes are I also incorporated. It doesn't, you see, it doesn't mean that I am an expert in a code. I am an average student. I can openly say that, but I know how to make things. That's all. At the end, you need results. Yes or no? So if people are saying that we won't use ChatGPT means, we will look at them like this. Simple. ChatGPT is a mission. You can't compete with missions. You have to use that missions and you get success, right? So you should be like that. Okay. Then here also we use like that. Whatever the methods are there, almost all. See, first is the imputation method, mean, and after is the deletion with the missing values. DF dropped also. So I just want to show you both of them. So that is the reason I incorporated both of them. And at the end, I don't have any missing values, right? So here also you can see there is a correlation. Once one topic is completed, that was the missing values. Okay, my project one step completed. The second step is the correlation. As we discussed in the theory, we need to put into the understanding. So what is the correlation? Huh? You just now we spoke about it, right? What is that? Okay, the relationship between the two variables. Even correlation you can understand in general terms also. So even in my college life, I will tell you one best example how I interpreted the correlation. So one girl is there, she is very beautiful. Okay, what usually happens? All boys look at that girl only, but that girl look at some other boy, right? So that is the correlation. You need to understand them, right? In a practical language also, how people are getting there. Okay, correlation is the topic, the impact what they created. But at the end, what happened? The girl will choose one person only. She won't choose all of them, right? She can't also. And you will also want one by one. Of course, it's a truth or not. So the impact which you created, so it should be reflected there. So that is what the correlation technique. Here target is the carbon emissions. How many variables are there? That doesn't matter for that. But which is increasing the carbon emissions or decreasing the carbon emissions, that both are matter. Okay. So now we will look at them. Here also correlation heat map is there. Even in this heat map, I took some different method. I will explain you that method here. You can also look at that. So first step, what I written. So everyone, all of you, everyone, can you able to see the screen? Please confirm. So I'm moving the cursor also. Try to see the cursor also. Here correlation matrix is df dot co, whatever the method Pearson we used. And after that, I used only top 10 positively and negatively correlated features on. Because if I drawn 50 features, it will be confused for you. That is the reason. Instead of that, I selected only top 10. How I selected? I used the first correlation matrix. I drawn that. And after that, there is a correlation target. So carbon emissions, whatever the values I sorted. Sorted means what? Either ascending or descending, right? That is what the methods we are using here. So ascending I used, like ascending equal to false means. So here top features, correlation 1:11. What do you mean by that? 1 to 11 means up to 10 values, right? Top 10 features. This is what the trick here. Remaining everything is same. You can see this code is the same. This is for just to write the figure and all. So PLT dot figure size I given, and remaining things, whatever the heat map I want to draw, I given. So there are the various methods to write the code also. It doesn't mean that this is the standard way to write the code. You can take different methods. Okay. So this is the heat map. Even here also you can see carbon emissions and the fuel consumption, carbon emissions, aircraft weight, engine hours. So remaining also in the negative, but still they given compared to the remaining features. These are the method. Okay. So this is what you need to understand from this heat map. Okay. Heat map is for the correlation analysis. Remaining things you need to be in better, and we will go for the other methods. Like when correlation comes, you need to have the multi-collinearity also. But multi-collinearity means there is a method called variance inflation factor. How many of you are aware of this method? If you don't know, please tell me, don't know. If you are aware of this, I know this method like that. No? Variance inflation factor means, so whatever the method, for example, multi-collinearity means I explained. What I explained multi-collinearity means? Yes, right? Same amount of the value. Same value means, for example, with the carbon emission, fuel also same thing, and as well as the weight also same thing. But I want only one feature. So to avoid that multi-collinearity, I have to apply this method, VIF method. If I apply that, it will give you some values. So you can also look at the output first, then we will get back to the code. You can also see here, there is the top VIF features are this one, 1.00, like there are the values, right? But VIF greater than 10 indicates the high multi-collinearity. But in this project, we don't have the multi-collinearity, but real-time project, we got the multi-collinearity. Multi-collinearity will be there in the features, definitely. Whenever you are doing the real-time project, that project will have the multi-collinearity. Okay? So try to understand the concept. VIF value should have the greater than 10. Then high multi-collinearity, if it is 5, greater than 5 indicates the moderate. Even that time also you need to handle that. Sir, how to handle them? That is the problem here. There is a code you can also see. So here also I wrote VIF data equal to PD dot data frame. That is the pandas data frame I converted. And after that VIF data feature, whatever I have. Feature means what? How many of the columns are there? We call it as a features. And VIF data, VIF equal to variance inflation factor and x scaled comma I. For I in range, x scaled dot shade. Simply I kept into the for loop all the columns. Please check the VIF value of that column and give me the output of the top 10 features having the VIF. But I look at that output, this is very less. So it means that there is no multi-collinearity. If it is the value of the more than 10, I can consider there is a multi-collinearity. I need to handle that, or either drop that feature, or I can log transformation will be there. I can do that. Okay, now that problem is not there. So don't worry about it. 1 second. Okay. Even I provided the interpretation guidelines also, because when this project comes to you, you try to understand in your own language. because every code behind that, what's going on, and output I given an explanation also. Don't worry about it. So univariant analysis, even we discussed about this in the PPT also. Univariant analysis means you said that one variable, analysis of one variable. Uni means one, right? So bivariant means two, multivariant means more than two. Okay. So univariant analysis also, I selected some features first. What are the features based upon the whatever the top 10 features I selected in that? How top 10 correlation matrix? See, why we are doing them? To select some features. We want that features to build the model. That's all. So these are the 5 top rated or top values correlation. I selected manually also. You can see that plot distribution of them. There is a histogram also I used. There is a density plots. K density plots. If you are aware of that KDE, kernel density. Yes. So these plots also very important to understand the distribution actually. Next, you can see that box plots also used at a time. You can also see the output. Because actually, when the beginning of the programs, we used to write individually. But now we want a little bit of for loops and well versed with them. So writing them in a single shot. So here also happened. So you can see there is a first column I took flight duration. Flight duration. So the graph of the flight duration histogram, flight duration KDE plot, flight duration box plot. You can see this is not completely, so this is little bit okay. So compared to the remaining things, so you can see here, this is very worst. What should I do here? This is not even following anything. Fuel consumption is important feature. I can't miss that feature. See, if I remove the fuel consumption, what will happen? My model will go wrong because fuel is the main one, right? Even everyone is aware of that. Without fuel, light even can't even move, right? So if I deleted that feature, it is useless for my project. But what should I do here? I got the fuel consumption like this. Okay, I should repair it. How to repair it? You understood the problem first? This is not the normal distribution it is following. It is following the, so I can say that left skewed. So if I want to repair the skewness, how should I do? That is filling the missing values. Missing values are not there here. I already filled the missing values. Tell me some methods. What is the problem here first? Problem. Data is skewed. If I want to make that right order or make the skewness well, what should I do? I want to bring it like this graph also in the above graph, right? So for example, see this graph difference and this graph difference. Can you see? This is good, somewhat better than the this one. So, but I have two options. I can delete that feature, but fuel consumption, I can't delete it. I have to apply some methods on it. What are that methods? I think you also drawn some graphs, right? In your journey when you are learning. So, but how you prepare that graphs? If the graph is not good, means you deleted that feature, or you are not even went for that feature model building. It's okay, fine. But I'm asking as an exploration person only. I'm not going for the machine learning or not. I'm just asking exploration only. I got this problem. What should I do? If it is a graph is skewed on one side, what should I do? Okay, the answer is you need to find like this. So you can also see there are the graphs are missing like this. So you have to go for the log transformation. Are you aware of this log transformation before? What do you mean by the log transformation? In a childhood also you use the log, not childhood. That was a 9th class, 8th class, 10th class. There is a log values. Log base 2, base 10, log 2. Why we will do that? Because to make the values exponential values. Exponential values means you can see I transform this fuel consumption with the help of these log values like this. Can you able to see? Better than previously, this graph is better. Why? Because we applied the log. Log means it is bringing all the parameters into the scale. For example, you can also aware of that road is a kilometer's length. When you are keeping that length in the length on the paper, how will you draw that? Will you draw that many kilometers? The book won't be sufficient. You have to be well aware of that scaling. Same technique we applied. So all the values in the fuel consumption, we brought it down and synchronize with the scaling. That is called the log transformation. So same way we applied for the remaining topics also, like remaining features also, aircraft, the weight, whatever we have. So these are not, exactly similar to the normal distribution, but we have to bring it to the almost closer to the normal distribution, right? So this is also the problem. If you are not tackled that, it will impact your model. Okay, now we will go to the next problems. So here also we can see there are the feature pair plots. I scatter plots with the help of trendliness. Trendliness means you can see here there is a red line and after that there is a graph. Simple understanding. What you can see on the board, it's just a line and it is the values. These dots are values. The flight duration versus carbon emissions. If you see this graph carefully, flight duration. For example, flight duration is 100 minutes. The carbon emissions will be too much. If duration is more, obviously carbon emissions will be too much. Not only duration. For example, if flight is traveling for 2 hours, 3 hours means it will emit the too much. Why? Because the longer the distance it will travel, right? For example, the flight is going from Bangalore to Kochi. It is very less distance. But Delhi to Kochi, it is too much. Kochi is in the Kerala, right? So you need to understand this, what are the calculations behind that. So these graphs will tell us how carbon emissions are flowing or carbon emissions are varying with respect to that particular feature. Even fuel consumption versus and speed versus carbon emissions. Speed means what? If it is a less speed, more speed, these things also we learn now. So if speed is also impact, how? One biker is going with a huge speed. Do you think that will he reduce carbon emissions? No, right? So instead of that, it can increase also. There is a chances of increasing. Why? The combustion engine, whatever he is doing, so the combustion engine will be very much like heated. When he is going speed, it will emit lot of carbon emissions. That is also a problem. That is the reason government everywhere it will put the speed limits. Why? There is a mechanics or the statistics behind that. One is safety of life, that is okay. But the thing is, apart from that, there is the environmental impact also. And the consumption, if it is too much heated engine, it will blast also. There is a fire accidents also happen so many times. So you need to aware of that. Flight, when flight is moving like that, even flight get burned. That you should be aware. Okay. So here you can also see there are the lines we plotted here. So that you have to observe. The insights also I wrote here, scatter plots why we use and trendliness why we calculated. So these things also, theory also very important. See, don't neglect the theory when you are writing the code. The person who writes the code and interpret it, he can only success. But the person who writes the code simply, he never be a data scientist or a data engineer or data analyst. But the thing is, he has to understand what he is writing and output analysis is very important. Please learn from now onwards at least how we are writing the code is also a part. And apart from that, output interpretation is also part, right? So when you are giving your presentations, you will get to know. So this is the QQ plots. QQ plots means this you need to understand that. So whenever you are writing the QQ plots, quantile plots, you can plots, we can call it that, because it used to check for the normal distribution. Can you see this graph? This is the theoretical mathematics. I can say that. Theoretical physics also. Because what you can see here, there is a theoretical quantiles and the sample quantiles. So the distribution between them, this is the red line is the standard. But the blue line, can you able to see, it is varying little bit here also. But almost all it is following. Why we are doing that? It should match exactly with that, then only you will get the accurate results. If it is definitely matching with that, you will get 100% efficiency. But in real world scenario, you won't get that. Of course, right? In real world, you can't expect that. Even GPT generated data, this is also not able to follow in that. Are you getting my point? This quantile plots also very important. So at the end, what we are checking? Normal distribution, simple word. Normality means when you are checking that if it is following the straight line, 45 degrees, then it is fine. Okay. So now we are moving to the next step. Pearson correlation test. So that is what I explained you in theoretical also. Pearson correlation. Even heat map also we observed, right? Heat map behind Pearson is there. There are the two kinds of correlation. One is the Pearson, one is the Spearman. Are you aware of these things? Why? I couldn't get that point. Okay, you are not practiced this kind of problems, right? So Pearson and Spearman means they are the two techniques to use for the correlation. Okay, so when you are calculating the correlation, either you will use the Pearson, you will use the Spearman or heat map. Heat map is a visualization. Are you able to understand? Heat map is just a graph, but the behind that graph you need some technique, right? That is the Pearson or the Spearman. That will produce the values, and the values produced by it, visualization will come in the heat. Are you clear with this now? So this is also the values, but here there is a thumb rule. So close to the plus one or a minus one strong relationship I wrote, and p value, especially when you are talking about this p value, it should be always less than 0.05. Statistically important. That is what I told you. One student came for the interview and he said this word. Maybe he also saw like that, like the projects. So then he told that if I ask what is the P, he will. But P is the probability. How much percentage you are like, probability you are aware of, right? Probability we calculated even in the engineering students, they used to calculate. And even I don't know that time. What is probability? Probability means simple. I think most of you from the Andhra and Telangana, there is a game. What is that game? Cards. Cards is there. There is a one more rural game. Head and tail. They used to play in Sankranti time. That is probability. You know that? What is that game? Just you will flip one coin. People will bet on that head and tail. Right or not? If head, 1,000 rupees, tail 1,000 rupees. But probability game is we don't know what will come. Are you aware of this? Even I used to play when I was kid. 2 rupees coin means you will always get the tail. 1 rupee coin means head. That is the thumb rules. Okay, people follow that. So even though sometimes what they will do, they will flip that coin for 100 times, or they will see, or 10 times, they will see that how many heads are coming sometimes and tails are coming. They will bet on that only. If you lost that money, that is different thing. But the calculation is probability there. So here also, the chances of getting the positive values or the probability values less than 0.05 means we consider statistically significant. Okay, now t-test. Why we are doing all these tests on the features, the important is select the best features. If I want to select the best students out of you, how can I select? Simple technique. First I will see, okay, who is talking well? So communication. And after that, who is coding well? And after that, who can able to convince that interpretation? So I will see 4 or 5 qualities like a criteria, and I will take out them. That persons only will be placed into that company. Even company also will look into you that. Okay. So first here also example that only t-test. Why we are performing all these tests on features to make that features are best. Okay. So here also you can see there is a speed is this much, and if it is greater than that, we group them one columns, and if it is less than that, we group them into the second column. And I asked them calculate the p-value. I got in the negatives, that is 0.05 less than. So that is fine for me. Okay, here also you can see there is a multivariant exploration. So not only univariant, bivariant, now we came up with a multivariant. So here we are combining all the features and finding out the results. So you can also look at here. There is a plots also I drawn. So here you can see 3D picture. This is the 3D picture. But 3D pictures you can able to see, but you can't able to interpret them. Because human eyesight can see only 2D. Now 3D means you want one glass. Have you ever went to that movies? 3D movies, they will give you glasses. But even that glass also not useful. But when you are keeping that glasses, the image will come to you. I watched RRR like that only, 3D. So how many of you watches that kind of movies are coming now nowadays? Even I think if I remember well, Pushpa also released in the 3D. I don't know, but I seen 2D only. So there are the movies. Why they are giving that glasses means visualization. because when you are watching the movie in the 3D, so it will come to your, like, directly in front of you. Are you able to feel that feeling when you are went to the movies? So you can also feel when you are going to that kind of movies, you just observe the things, what is going on. So here also 3D image, when your fuel consumption is there, flight duration is there, carbon emissions is there. But the image, it is showing that there is a color, is it, the impact. So if it is a too much impact means it is a dark blue, remaining impact, not impacted area means the yellowish color it came. Okay. But I will convert it into the 2D so that you can able to observe better manner. Here you can see feature combination. So I explained about the feature engineering also here. Feature engineering means there is the one or two feature, just combine it, you will get the one more feature. For example, I have the fuel is there, I have the distance is there. If I want to fuel efficiency, there is a term, right? So the term means what you are getting mileage in your own terms. Mileage means what? So, okay. Distance travel, okay. Mileage means, for example, per liter, how many kilometer it is giving? 90 kilometer, 100. So that depends upon you. Okay, here, same way, flight also important. Like flight, how much fuel it is consuming, how much distance it is traveling. That is called the fuel efficiency, we call it as. If it is less fuel going more distance means we feel it very happy. Of course, if it is 1 liter petrol reduced means the bike price will increase. Why? Because too much demand for that bike. And almost if you feel all bikes will be the same mileage. If you generalize it, I'm not talking about the Royal Enfield or something else, but the thing is, it will give you almost same. Maximum human can drive 70 kilometer per hour or 60. Safest speed they can drive. But if it is giving 120 also, it is useless for you. Okay. But the thing is the cost, marketing strategies, they want to make it, okay, this bike is giving this much mileage means people get attracted, right? So this kind of phenomena will be come out from these feature combinations. Okay. The fuel consumption for the aircraft weight and this all are consumed here. And I also told you there is a technique called a PCA, Principal Component Analysis. I know that in this term you never heard of it. I will try to tell you principal component analysis means it's just a dimensionality reduction. Dimensionality reduction means 3D to 2D. Why 3D to 2D? If it is a 3D, definitely you can't visualize it properly. But 2D, you can see x-axis, y-axis. See, better than x, y, z, you can see x, y easily. Even when you are at a childhood also, they used to draw only x, y graphs, not x, y, z graphs. X, Y, Z also they might draw, but it is very rare cases, right? So on the planes, you can draw only x-axis and the y-axis clearly. So here also I did the same way. PCA is a principal component analysis where you are reducing your components to two to better understand the graph. This is called 2D projections. Here also I use the same kind of things only. One is the principal component 2, principal component 1, and here carbon emissions. But I given a carbon emissions scale here. Okay, this is not a part of this one, but the thing is scale. Scale means what? Just, okay, if it is in this color, it will be this much. Are you getting my point? I'm not doing anything here. I'm just making it to the 2D image. That's all. Okay. Next. So here also I wrote what's actually going on. 3D plot, and the 3D plot also you can clearly read from here. Helps visualization relationship between the three features and carbon emissions. But PCA means the last line, whatever I made here, reduces the data to two principal components and visualize the variance in the data, helping detect the patterns. Patterns means what? Simple. So carbon emissions are increasing or decreasing. This is what the problem from the beginning itself. Okay. So now outlier detection. So now I need your cooperation. So because you are all experts in the detecting the outliers, right? So tell me how to detect the outliers. It is in front of you only. I need your answer. I need one person should answer clearly at least. Tell. there is a method called G-score and IQ. I don't want to discuss that methods because directly we will implement these methods. See, this is the code for the G-scores. And after that, we just see this visualization part. If you learn for one graph writing, it is, yeah, it is similar for the all the graphs. Are you agree for me or not? Or whatever the method we are applying for one graph, drawing one graph. For example, you can see PLT dot figure size. And after that, SNS dot histoplot. But here you will replace with box plot, you will replace with some other plots. But the code is same, right? So try to remember this kind of common patterns. Okay. Here also, whatever the G-score method we are using, you can see there are the outliers are there in the original. But after removing the outliers with the G-score method only, but you can see still it is not proper. So that means it is not repaired the outliers well. Implementation of the method is easy. But the thing is whether that method really checking the outliers and removing the outliers also you need to find out. Why? Because the particular data is suitable for the Z-score method. The particular data is suitable for the IQR method. Okay. Here in this project, IQR is the best method because IQR is very simple method also. What we are doing here, IQR method, we took the carbon emissions and we used the quantiles like 0.25 and the 0.75 and calculated the method called IQR equal to Q3 minus Q1. I hope you are aware of these things, right? So next, detect the outliers first, and after that, visualizing them and remove the outliers and visualize it. So here you can see this is the outliers, what you are can able to see the cursor where I am moving. So then after removal, you can see this kind of graph, but it is not fully removed, but there is a somewhat better than the IQR. But how can I conclude that? So here you can see there are the steps, output steps. Outliers detected using the Z-score, 0. That means that method is not working for this. But outliers detected using the IQR, 351. So that method is somewhat work. That is what you need to understand. And the original carbon emissions this much and mean after the Z-score and the IQR. So here you need to see, you can't get any change here. These both are same. But this here you can find some change. There are the values change here. Okay. Try to understand the reasons also. After implementing, you need to cross-check it. Whether really created any impact or not. Okay. I hope these methods are very clear for you and how we implemented in the project also you should be aware of this. Okay, now feature engineering already we performed. That is the reason I just commented that code because feature engineering means creating the some features of the combinations. Okay. Now, so till here, do you have any questions so that I can pause here so that we will go for the model preparation. One thing you should be clear, if you are not having any questions, means either you are not listened anything or you understood everything. Which category you are in? Tell me honestly only. I won't tell to your teachers or sirs, I don't know also. Because I will come for one day only. After that, you can't see me. You can work honestly with me, right? So that I can also, okay, when I'm explaining, students can't able to get that information. I need to self-analysis, right? So please tell me whether you are able to understand or not. The context, problem, and how we are dealing till here. Clear everything? So can anyone tell what we did, like rough idea? I can't choose any person because you might fear about this. No, you are not a kid, okay? You are well matured than me also sometimes. So please tell me what you understood. In the overall picture, what you understood. Somebody at least try, I can help them. Okay. Okay. Yes, very good. Nice. Okay, nice. Okay, that's fine. Really fine. Any other people want to add some points or repeat that points also fine? Data in okay. Till now, okay. Okay, nice. Data analytics done. Okay. He understood what is the difference between the data analytics and data science, I think so. Okay. Next. That's good answer, really. Any other points? Very good. Okay. If you speak only, I can get to know that whether you understood it or not, right? So please try to speak. If you can't understand, you can tell that I didn't understand anything. I will try to give you a rough idea. Okay. So far what we done, we discussed the problem statement. So the carbon emissions is the main problem, right? So we want to cure that problem or we want to solve that problem. Okay, for that what we did, we just loaded the data and after that we did the data exploration. Exploration means feature by feature, how it will be having and what are the missing values are there, how to handle them, what is the correlation between the features, how to handle that correlation, and after that outliers are there, how to handle that outliers also we observed, right? So even we try to observe the different tests. The test is the statistical test like t-test and Pearson test. This kind of tests also, QQ plots also we observe, right? These are the analysis we done till now. So now the part is the second part of our discussion, model building. So model building, since you are not aware of the machine learning, I don't want to go depth into that because you can't understand the technicalities in that. But if the people are aware of this model building, so they might get some information. But I will try to give the overview. Okay. So now we will see model preparation. So in the model preparation, simple understanding, you can also see in the screen. So there are the two kinds. One is the TF dot drop carbon emissions. Another is the Y is equal to TF carbon emission. What do you mean by that? There are the two variables. One is the X, one is the Y. The X is the DF dot carbon emissions drop. I said DF dot drop, right? Drop means what? You are dropping that column, remaining columns are there. Okay, whatever you selected, that remaining columns are there. But Y is equal to DF carbon emissions means only carbon emissions are. Are you clear with this? So that means here you have to take one is the X and one is the Y. So in that also, X variable, you are keeping all the features and you are keeping one variable, that is the target variable. You want to check that whether that target variable is really impacted by these features or not. That is simple game here. So here also X train, like test, train, split, whatever we are using. Test size is normally 0.2. But the thing is, you might ask that why you kept 0.2 only. Training, testing sizes are your wish. It is not by anyone, but the company or the client, he can also specify that test this much data or train this much data. That is their wish. But the layman language, I can say that client doesn't know anything. He will directly provide you the data, but you have to select and you have to explain that data. So this is how I took it. Okay. Here you can also see there is a library called scikit-learn, right? So scikit-learn means why we'll use the scikit-learn? Have you ever observed that there is a website called scikit-learn? Scikit-learn website also there. There also you can learn a lot of things. Basic libraries of the machine learning, you will get all of them in that website because we also copy from that website only. But that website, every library having the meaning also. You have to read that descriptive meaning. Don't feel bored about theory, but try to read that website, whatever the concepts mentioned in that, that is very important for you. Okay, now we will go to that. So whatever we have here, you can also see imputing methods also implemented. So somebody said that there is a algorithmic methods for implementation. So here I use the simple imputer. Simple imputer is imported from the directly sklearn. So this sklearn directly giving the simple imputer, you might ask that already we filled the null values. Why you are using again? Just to showcase you. That's all. Nothing else. So here also there is a train test split and there is a mean also there. And after that linear regression simple. One thing you need to remember how you are fitting the data or how you are splitting the data. Two concepts, splitting and fitting. After split, you have to go for the fit into that model. Whether that is fitting into the linear regression, decision tree, whatever it may be. So here also linear regression. How many lines are there? It is just 4 or 5 lines. People say that machine learning is very difficult. Do you think that it is difficult? EDA is very difficult actually. Really, machine learning is very easy because when you understand the whole part of the EDA, machine learning is there itself. you can understand, okay, this type of data, I can go for this model. This type of data, I can go for this. You have that kind of, even if you open that, what are the recommendations for the different algorithms? You ask the ChatGPT, it will give you. So these are the assumptions of the linear regression. Do you know assumptions of the linear regression? There are 4 assumptions only. One is the linear relationship should be there. And after that, normal distribution should be there. And the homoscedasticity should be there. So this kind of, there are the 4 kind of assumptions are there. You can read them. So here, linear regression, why I implemented, I observed that carbon emissions is in the normal distribution and it is following the linear distribution. Even Q-cube plots also I showed that whether it is going linear or not. And that is also second observation. And the remaining variance, whatever variance, have you heard about variance, standard deviation, this kind? Very easily, right? So I don't want to go technical details, but if you observe that the minimal percentage of these residuals, then also you can take it. So here I observed the linear regression is very good fit for this model, whatever the data we have. So even XGBoost regression also nowadays, why XGBoost is so popular? Because XGBoost is giving optimum results. Optimum results means very good results, I can say that. See, XGBoost is one more algorithm which having the, like, whatever the loopholes in the linear regression, it covered it. Linear regression having some problems. What is that problems? It can't detect the outliers. Where once you fitted means it will leave the outlier values. It won't consider that. But XGBoost will consider that values. That you should know that. Okay, even neural networks also applied. But the thing is, whatever the values giving by the neural networks is not working. So that is the reason I just commented that. You can see there are the scores. The game starts here. The scores are very less. Why? Can anyone tell? Common sense question that is. Because generally you will see the scores 90 above. R square means it is the score. Okay, R square and MBA, MSc, if you remember these values or heard about it, no problem. R square means it's a score of the prediction. Prediction means if model is very good means it should be above 90. Then only we can say that this is a good model. But here I got only 53% or 53. Okay, why? The reason is this data is the synthetic data. What do you mean by this synthetic? Artificial meaning, what do you mean by the artificial? Okay. So it is not natural. It is just artificial. Okay. So artificial means the data is prepared by the GPT. So GPT means client never shares data with you or with me. He shares with the organization. Okay. If I took the data directly, tomorrow this presentation, if I given here, tomorrow I will be in jail. Why? Because I took their data privacy issues. I can't take their data, but I can take their column names. That is the reason, whatever the 50 columns client given, I took that. But this data, whatever we took, that is from the GPT. There is a code for that also. Code means how you generate the data also, you should be aware of that. Why? There is a random, random to this kind of words. Randomly you can generate the data. You just ask the GPT, just give me the data of this kind of data, it will give you. Nowadays that problem is not there because you people are started learning with GPT only. So please try to prepare different kinds of data and work on it. You will also solve this kind of problems definitely. So when we prepared actually in the industry, we got the 95% here. Okay, 95% means the model is working well in the 95 conditions out of 100. But there are the 5 conditions false out. That means okay, even sometimes people get 99 also. But if it is going for 1, what is the reason for that? It does not mean 100%. It is overfitted. Overfitted means whenever you enter a new data, it won't take. It will say that no, I can't listen. So that is the reason there is a movie called Robo. What happened in that movie? Just it will say that TV etti padai means what it will do? Same as it will do, but negative thing it can't capture. So here machine learning should be used for the positive things. That is the reason whatever the model we are getting, that should be, if it is 1%, that is ideal case we consider. Ideal means the perfect model, I can say. But overfitting, why we are calling? if it is giving again and again, when you are calling the overfitting, I will also show you. Here you can see there is a cross validation, right? Model evaluation techniques. So these model evaluation techniques, when you are performing, if it is giving the same value again and again, if I'm changing the data also, it is giving same thing. That is called overfitting. But if it is changing the values, definitely we can say that this model is doing well. Okay. Now, so here there is a residual plot for the linear regression. Residual means you can ask, what do you mean by this? The terms are very easy. Residual means error. There is a term called MAE. What do you mean by that? Mean absolute error. MSE, mean square error. So these errors, why we are calculating? Because how much error is there in the model, so that much the model will fault. If errors are very less, obviously, if human doing very less errors, he will be the perfect person. In competitive exam also, there is a negative marking. What will happen? Obviously, whatever marks you are getting, whatever negatives you do, and you will minus on that, right? Out of 100, see 50 marks, 50 questions right, 50 questions wrong. It won't be zero, don't worry. 50 marks you will get, but there is a minus marks for every question 1/3. 50 into 1/3, whatever you will get that. So that will be out of minus of these 50 marks, whatever you got. So that means your marks will be around 25 marks. So same way, your errors, residuals we call. If errors are too much, the efficiency of the model will decrease. So same thing you need to remember here. So evaluation also I did, and the tuning. What do you mean by the tuning? See, these terms, if you understand now, when I shared code with you, you will go through this code very easy. Tuning means what? Okay, if I become a bad person, what will happen? The tuning is required for me. What is that tuning? Yes. Tuning means whatever the bad habits I have to remove one by one. So if I can't remove, definitely I have to go to hospital, he will remove it. That is called rehabilitation centers. Now drug addicts, there are so many people. So what they will do, they will give you the counseling sessions, all these things, they will make you good person again. Then you back to the society, you will become same thing. That is different story. But now tuning means the model is giving the wrong values. I need to repair it, right? If it is my model is wrong values means I can't tell that, okay, whatever the work I done for the 1.5 months, it is right. I can't justify it also. But the thing is, I need to repair it where it is wrong and how it is wrong, which feature I selected wrong feature. I have to delete that feature. This kind of analysis I have to do in the tuning. Okay. Or optimization is also similar kind of that. And now see, these are the information I wrote for you. Don't worry about it. Information. It is available in the every script. And if you ask GPT also, this project you couldn't even understand anything. It will give you the clear understanding if you upload this file. Okay, don't worry. Now, so can you? These also I again features. I just want to tell you that there is an app I showed you in the beginning of our discussion. What is that? Anyone remember the name of it? I showed you the result first, right? What is that? Streamlit. Streamlit means for deployment purpose we use the Streamlit. Wherever interface is there, interfaces means like how many predictions it is doing, how much cost reduction it is doing. That is what the Streamlit, right? So this is what Streamlit I showed you. Just a second. I think I can move this one. Yeah. So this is what I showed you in the before, right? This Streamlit. Have you ever imagined that building most, whatever the machine learning is enough, but the thing is now beyond. Building a machine learning model, you can do it by GPT, no problem. But the thing is cross-validation, you can do it there. But building model and showing that results is the great thing here. That too, the kind of project what we are doing, the client will expect that I want this graph only because I can understand this one. Whatever you perform, what should I do? He can't even understand what is RMSE, what is MAE. These things he doesn't bother. Because generally, clients or the business people, they have money or they want to reduce and optimize these things. That's all. But when you are representing the team of yours, You have to make it like this. So how we made it also, I'm just coming to that part only. So here you can see top 5 features. 5 features means whatever the app you are showing. So there are the 5 features I showed here, and I build there is a imputer file, and there is a joblib, that is the library. You need to import that. So they will prepare a test PKL files. PKL means the files used for to build the interface. The people who did the HTML, this kind of, they are aware of these terms actually. Okay, you might ask that if you are not aware of these things also, no problem. So here also there is a library streamlit, and after that, can you able to see this interface style, this kind of, this is the HTML code. I really don't know HTML. What's wrong? See, the person should be expert in one thing, not it's okay. That is not a problem. HTML, I never worked. But nowadays, with the GPT, we can aware of the terms. If I ask the GPT, give me basic HTML codes, it will give. I can use it here. So this is how. So because it will create an URL and it will redirect. When I click on it, it will redirect to the backend code. So that's how I built this app. So you can app interface enhancements also. I wrote like this. So it should be titled like this: carbon emissions, and whatever the fuel consumption, aircraft, and flight duration, this thing should be like this. Whatever the sample data also I feed it, because in this sample data, usually client data should be there, because client, whenever he given a data, we used to feed that. So the revenue also, calculations, whatever it may be. I don't want to discuss all of them. Here you can see this is how the whole prediction visualizations will reflect into that app. So after that, there is a problem, like, so simply building the app is not a problem. App.py we build, and there is a installation of the different libraries. That libraries also will give us an understanding. Because if these libraries are not there, that app.py, that you can't visualize it. Okay. So here there is a Streamlit, and there is a pyngrok. There is a library. So it will redirect to your website. Website means, so for example, when you are going to the ngrok website, it will give you the authentication. Simply like you are building your model and you are uploading it into the Streamlit. That is what the meaning of it. So we will go to the simple terms. Here you can see there I set my authentication, like my code. You can also replace your code here. It won't work for you. When you are running the code, simply you have to replace this ngrok authentication. Please remember this step, because this file will come to you definitely. So this code, you have to go to the ngrok website with your Google email, whatever you have. So with that, it will generate automatically one code. So then copy paste that code here. Okay, it will work. Then run that and you will see this link, and that link is here. This is how project ended. And the project also, we given a solution. This is the carbon emissions, and this many carbon emissions one flight is giving. And obviously, you can reduce this many carbon emissions by using the alternatives also. Alternatives means, I just want to take 1 more minute, not more than that. Suggested for carbon emissions. What do you mean by that? See, carbon emissions reduction is not only a fuel, this kind of thing. There is an alternative fuels also you can use. Now, alternative fuels means people are using the petrol, diesel, that is okay, that's enough. But the thing is, there is a CNG now, right? CNG is here. And there is a other method, electric vehicles now. And there is a, in the future, you can see solar panels also, right? Solar panels, vehicles also will come, because they are in the experiment stage. Now, you can see flight also we use ATF fuel. Okay, that turbine fuel, whatever we have. So now you can change it with the greener fuels. So there are a lot of fuels coming in the future. So we can give them, but practically workable solution only we have to suggest. This is the alternatives. But practically workable solution is carbon emissions prediction is the practically workable, because this flight is generating carbon emissions too much means either you can reduce the trips of that flight. The flight which is generating less carbon emission, you can increase the trips. So whenever that is only viable solution, right? You can away from the taxes, whatever the France government is giving, or tax benefits also you can take it, because below 100 tons, whenever flight is generating, definitely they will reward that guy also. The reward is also too much for the France. So you need to think in the broader perspective. So this is what my project. You can also ask me questions if you have. If you don't have any questions, what can I do? Okay. So just you tell me whatever the questions you got, I can also answer. Or otherwise, you can tell me other problems also. You can ask me some questions related to your course or something I can able to answer. Yeah. Any questions?
You said that we'll give some data.
Yes.
Accessible data. If the data is too much, it matters sometimes. Right? Data is about some 100 billion. If you are neglecting 0.2% or 0.3%, but it actually is 100 million crores, but 0.2% doesn't matter.
Of course, if it is 100 million, you said that time. See, I will tell you one story. For example, 100 crores people are there in the country. Okay, 100 crores Indian population is 140 crores. If I say 2% means how much? 140 crores means so almost 2.8 lakhs. Okay. Okay, 2.8 lakhs. Okay, 2.8 crores even imagine. If I deleted 2.8 crores people in the data, what will happen? It will create a huge impact. So we need to understand what kind of data we are handling. If it is a population related data, you should not delete. But if you are airlines data, what we are using, so 2.8 crore flights data you are missing means definitely it will impact the model. See, 2% saying is very simple words, but 100 billions, 2% is very huge number. But if it is, for example, million data, 2% is that time you can think about this option. Whenever less number means you are not only deleting that particular column, you are deleting the entire rows. So that will create a huge impact. Okay, see, deleting the data, standard method is, if it is below 2%, people say that normally delete it. But for example, I am doing the MACD project. MACD means McDonald's, you are aware of that. McDonald's, we won't even, client is a clear instruction that you should not delete even 1% data. That should be depend upon the client again. He will say that. So please don't delete any data. If they said that liberty, like you can do whatever you like to do, then you can delete it, no problem. But I can suggest that as a data science experienced fellow, so you can create a two files without deleting data, with deleting data, then you can see the difference. What is happening in your model? Okay. I hope I answered your question. Any other questions?
During model selection, we have taken linear regression.
Yes.
So the model selection will be based on the output, right? So what ask for
Definitely.
so we are though we give the synthetic data on the database, but the score is 50. Now how far the model is suitable for the data?
See, if it is really case, you are asking that if it is real case of the 53%, it is worst model. Okay, it should be greater than 90. When I explained, also told you that. So whenever the model is you are considering the good model, it should be greater than 90. The problem here is we are not able to upload whole data. That is the problem. It is not giving the accurate results. The same data when I performed yesterday, I got 95. Are you getting my point? I can't change that data again and again, right? So that is the reason. So the results, whatever, see, for example, this data I will give you, tomorrow it will change. Why? Because this is the random data generated. So the random program when you are running again and again, definitely it will change. Are you getting my point? So synthetic data also, even normal data also, the 53% of the model is bad. You should not consider that algorithm. You have to go for the other algorithms. That time, for example, if it is linear regression fail, so you have to go for the other regression models. Regression models means random forest is there, or the decision tree regression is there. So you have to consider the all regression models. Then which one is giving the best, you can say. There are the 7 or 8 regression models are there. You can get one best algorithm in that. Clear? Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, nice. No? Any normal questions apart from the project? You are all fully subjective persons? Or fear? Or kindness on me? Don't ask any questions this time. Okay, if you don't have any questions, we can stop. Okay? Yes. Thank you.